Hello and welcome to TPT Chats. Today we're going to be talking about previews. I'm Annette from Count on Coop, and I have a TPT store, Count on Coop, and I sell math resources.
And my name is Malia, and I help teachers start and grow their profitable TPC stores so they can help teachers around the world and make some money doing it. So, previews. Now, this is
Mhm.
a great story. We're doing this video because, or this podcast, whatever you want to call this, because I had to convince Annette, someone who's been selling on TPT for like 8 years, that she needs to have previews on every single product. And it's taken her 8 years to get on board with it. So,
Okay, so truth be told, let's tell the whole story. So, truth be told, all of my products have a cover and thumbnails because I learned that that's what all of those things are. I just called them thumbnails, so I was corrected. So, cover and
yes,
thumbnails, I did have all of those, but the PowerPoint file that I made the cover and thumbnails off, I just made it a PDF and I called it a preview. So, technically, I had a PDF preview, but it did not give any more information, and it was literally just the four boxes on the bottom.
it was just your
So yeah,
thumbnails and your cover.
yes,
So,
yeah,
which you did, to be fair. I
on
will
the
give you
boxes on the
credit.
bottom.
You
Yeah, the boxes on
did,
the bottom. Seems good.
yeah, you had a preview, you had a PDF
Mhm.
preview, and you had a lot of good information in your thumbnails that was just now in your preview. So, it was good, but you weren't using the marketing space that TPT was giving you to your full advantage. And yes, I hate previews. If anyone loves previews, good for you because you might teach us your ways because I hate making them no matter
Mhm.
what. So they do take some time, but they are so, so, so worth it, wouldn't you
Mhm.
say?
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna tell us a little story about Malia, who is very smart. So I have a product line. They're cubes. They're little math. They're not little. They're very cool math cubes that are math reviews. And I went ahead and followed Malia's advice and I made PDF previews for them. I also put UTM codes in there where they like track if people click the link and go buy something else. UTM codes is a story for another day. But anyway, TPT allows you to make UTM codes so that you can kind of track where people are coming from. Anyway, so I looked like the next week at my TPT traffic dashboard and I actually made sales from the PDF preview. And I was like, well, I guess they work because people are looking, not only looking at them, looking through them, but also making it to like the last page of my PDF preview that was like, you might also like, and purchasing from that. So yes, Malia wins. She is absolutely right.
Well,
And
you win because you're making more
yeah,
sales.
that's a very good point. It's a very good
Yeah.
point. They took a long time to make, but they were very, very worth my while.
Yeah, you didn't even make them for all your store. You made them for like what? In that product line, you said there was like 40 or 60 products or something like that. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot. That was a lot. And that I applaud you. That is more than I could do in like a time span, any time span, really. But obviously it's worth it. And I like that you're pointing out that people are scrolling to the bottom where you're putting that, you may also like section.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people, including myself, up if you're putting that kind of page on an individual product, I like to upsell to the bundle.
Hmm.
So that way, if people are like looking at the product and they're like, well, I love everything about this, or I need all the
Hmm.
cubes, but in, 5 different topics, I'm going to buy the
Hmm.
bundle, right? And you can advertise that they can save a certain percentage or whatever. And I do find that people are clicking using the UTM codes. The proof is right there, right? You can see everything.
I would also say, okay, so I did the for that product line, and then I was like, I guess I should update one of my old products, from 2020. So it was a product from 2020, and I just updated it in 2025, and it was selling less, right? Like it was a bestseller for a long time, and it was selling less, and then I updated it. I'm gonna say it. I doubled the price because I updated all the covers, the thumbnails. I didn't change any of the content. All the content was exactly the same. Like the value was there and didn't change. But she told me that I was undervaluing my work. So I listened to Malia again and created cover, new thumbnails, and the PDF preview. And I sold 3 bundles the next day at double the price that it was the day before. So say that she knows what she's talking about.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that, and let me
Mm,
also preface it. This isn't doubling the price from like $1 to $2. You're doubling it from
no.
like 10 to 20
Yeah.
basically and more actually.
Yep.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
it was like
So
11 to 25 or something. Yeah.
yeah, so it's worth it. When you show that you have the value, people will pay for it. It's just you have to use what TPT is offering you to show the value, right? And PDF previews are best way to do it, I think.
I was going to say that's exactly what it was. It was like they didn't know what was inside the product based on my cover and thumbnails. They were like, "Oh, it's, task cards or whatever it was." But it was like once I showed how many there were inside, what kinds of questions there were inside, all of those things, it was like, "Oh, I get it," right? Like now I know what's inside. Now I know what I'm getting when I download this. And I think that was really important.
Yeah. I think that's great. I mean, yeah, having a PDF preview is one thing, but using it to like market your resource. I know when people
Hmm.
say like I need to market my CBT store, they generally think of like marketing outside on like social media or like Instagram and TikTok and email marketing and all that stuff. But really, you have a cover to
Hmm.
market, you have three thumbnails, and you have a PDF preview and you also have a video preview. That's a later conversation, but your PDF preview is a spot that you can create a preview as many pages as you want, as small as you want, as much text as you want, as many pictures as you want to show off everything that you need to tell the buyer that this is something that you need. It solves this problem and it's worth
Hmm.
what I'm asking you to pay for.
I was going to say, I was like, okay, so now I think we've kind of definitely said that the value of the PDF preview is there, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm convinced, right? I hope we convinced you guys too. Now what should be in a PDF preview? So what kind of content would be in it? So let's hear what you got.
So I love to put I think about how would I look at something and what do I want to see. So typically, when I was looking for products for my classroom, like content related, that either it took me way too long to create myself or I just wasn't great at making content. Math
Hmm.
content for some secondary subjects is hard to just come up. You can only come up with so many word problems, okay? Someone else I need to need to buy from someone else who can make them better than me. Um, but I always want to look at like a summary just to double check that this is
Hmm.
what I think it is. Um, so I always have like a summary. Then I talk about not only what's physically included in the product, like how many questions, how many pages, how many activities, like those are features. I look at the features for sure. Answer keys, that's important for me. But I also think about like, why do I want this product? Why is this
Hmm.
product different from, the listing right under it in TPT search? There's a million task cards out there on the same topic.
Hmm.
Why should I buy this set of task cards over someone else's? Sometimes it is about the features, and that's why you want to include it. But it's about that benefit where you're telling that teacher, this is why you need it. This is what problem
Hmm.
it's going to solve for. Maybe it's the teacher's time, but it also could be, a lot of people sell differentiated stuff because teachers need something differentiated. They're thinking of that one student or that set of students that they need specific materials for. If you can
Hmm.
really hit that pain point, that emotional point in them, they're more likely to purchase. So I like to put features, benefits. Why are you going to love this product or why are you going to like
Hmm.
it? I also, uh, in bundles that have multiple products in it, I show like one page for each piece in there. Now, I do
Hmm.
have some bundles that have like 20 products. I'm not going to add 20 pages to that preview. So I'm going to kind of like bundle them together and say these two both are task cards, but they talk about this topic, or it
Hmm.
includes task cards and scavenger hunts and all these other things. So I really go into a lot of detail on what goes into my preview, and I'm not afraid to make it long because the longer that people are scrolling through that preview, the psychology is the longer they're thinking about it, the longer they're deciding yes or no, and they're most likely going to be leaning to yes. So
Hmm.
that's great part of having a preview and making it longer rather than just shorter. I also love putting a page in there that's leading them to other resources, right? Like we just talked about this. You had some that you may also like because sometimes, if you get people to come into your product, look at your product listing and then go into the preview, they could see and be like, this is not exactly what I thought it was. It's just not right for me. And instead of going back into the TPT search, they might see a product in that you may also like section and be like, actually, that's pretty interesting. I'm teaching that next week. Let me check this out. That way they're staying
Mhm.
within your world and they're not like going back out to search and now going to someone else's world and buying from someone else. You're still collecting them in that space. It's also a great spot to upsell a bundle, right?
Mhm.
So upsells, cross sells, I love putting those in your previews. Some people may say that, it's distracting, but I can see from my UTM codes that people are buying multiple things from my previews. So it's
Mhm.
working. I wouldn't have made the sale if I
Yeah,
didn't include it.
I agree. I also think I like to have a page at the end that's kind of like a little about me. Not a
Yeah.
lot. Like they don't necessarily care about all my details, but I do think it's really interesting to number one, like show your professionalism, like having your picture on it and showing like not your stats, but like a little bit about you because
Yeah.
it personalizes the experience too. They're like, oh, I'm actually buying this from a person that like is working hard to create these products versus like, AI or like, something off the internet, right? So
Right.
I think it's just a touch point, right? Does it
Yeah.
sell the products? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a touch point that kind of they're gonna start to remember you if they liked your product and they're gonna start to like recognize your products and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I always put the same, like in my preview template, which if you don't have a preview template, you should have one for every product line. It's going to save you so much time.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I always have that little about me with like my picture. It's mine, I think is an older picture, so maybe I should go in and update that, but that's probably a
Yeah.
2026 Malia thing to do. Um, but I have like just a little blurb of like I like creating these activities for my students, and my students love them, and I want to share them with others. So I hope
Right.
you enjoy this activity too. It could be that short.
Yeah.
It's also a great place to
Yeah.
say like, hey, did you know about TPT credits? Don't forget to leave
Hmm.
those reviews because we got to tell them everything. So it's a great little
Yeah.
like get to know me as the creator, as well
Hmm.
as little reminders to help other to help buyers, get a little boost for themselves too.
Yeah, remember all the things because if they're getting TPT credits, they're buying your products. They're buying more of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, they're definitely needed. I'm convinced now.
Now, did you ever, okay, so let me ask you this, because you've been on TPT a little bit longer than I have.
Hmm.
Were previews a thing, like a big deal?
No, I mean, I feel like everybody in my era, when I first started, did the downloaded their cover and thumbnails. Like I think that was just what people did. So I followed suit and didn't really think about it as a marketing thing. And honestly, okay, so my psychology was like, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? I was making sales. I was like, do I really need it? Like, is it going to benefit me or like boost my sales, right? And that's why I probably waited almost too long to start creating and going back and revising and making those PDF previews because I think some of the older products that I have, I think could sell really well, but they're not advertised well. They're not
Right.
represented, well. So I think, yeah, previews weren't really a thing. Video previews came, I feel like, first,
Ooh,
where it was
I
like, you
was,
have to have a video
yeah.
preview.
Yes, it was okay.
Oh.
So that's when I like started TBT. I think that was at my first year, maybe between 1 and 2 years of being on TPT, that previews were not like people are like, yeah, you should have it, but there wasn't like a strategy behind it.
Mhm.
And it was all of a sudden video previews became a thing. And that was what was like pounded into your brain that you
Mhm.
must have a video preview. It's like, well, how do I show a page, a videoing and with your phone, or do I need to buy a camera? Like it was a lot. But the other thing that I remember about that time was you could only upload certain files to the video previews. So at the time, I was selling a lot of digital products, and the only way that I could do it was adding GIFs. That was one of the digital files. I know. That was the only way that I could include a not from my phone video, like a screen recording, was to upload it as a GIF. and it was in the preview spot, but there was no separate video preview. Like they just
Mm.
added, like you could now add videos to it. But like one of the only, I don't know, files that you could upload was a GIF or like some other weird one. So when they fixed it and they added like you could add a PDF preview and a video preview, all of mine stayed in that preview spot. I'm sure I still have some out there, but it like changes color every time it like changes like to rotate. You know how a GIF like just continuously loops? Mine like it changes colors and
Oh
I'm like,
man.
how this is bad. I know there's some out there and it's almost like an Easter egg hunt to go find it. Like if someone finds it, you win a prize. Like it's just funny to see at that now, but that was a thing
Hmm.
then. They weren't separate files on
Yeah.
TPT. And I feel like now it's going back to you need a PDF preview. Video previews are
Yeah.
great. I think there's a time and a place for a video preview. Like your craftivity things.
Hmm.
Your activities, your craftivity activities. Right? They want to see the start to finish to see, can I do this? Are my students capable of like what do I need? Right? That's a great way to show start to finish products. A worksheet, I don't think we need a video preview. I think a regular
No.
PDF is fine.
You bring up a really good point about you brought up a really good point about video previews previously in one of our other conversations is the fact that like it's hard to hold their attention for a really long time.
Yeah.
Because uh, sometimes, if you're purchasing at a store or like if you're at school or something and you're trying to purchase a TPT product, you don't necessarily have time to click through and watch a video. Um, so I think the PDF previews are a lot, I don't know, easier for people to click on as well.
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember hearing a story of someone saying that like they're on their phone rocking their like baby to sleep and they're looking and they don't look at the video previews because they don't want the sound to, you know,
mhm.
accidentally go off or, you're in the back of the faculty meeting, scrolling on TBT looking for tomorrow's
Exactly.
lesson and it just starts blaring, right? That's more people are opting for looking at the preview, but TBT has said it's like 62% of buyers won't even consider your product if you do not have a preview of some sort. So have a
Yeah,
preview, even on your bundles, have a preview.
of course. I totally agree. And I've had those conversations with people, even other teachers that are like, I'm not going to buy it if I have no idea what's inside. So
True.
previews are very important.
Yes, yes. If you take one thing away from today is just have a preview. Put in the time, create a preview, and you're already off to a better start with your product. So we hope you guys
For
enjoyed this
sure.
video and we'll see you in the next one.